So I'm recording this video out of sequence. Apparently it got lost or something happened with the recording. I'm going to show you how to use a figure collage here. It has some things that you'll see later on in the later videos, but don't worry about that because they'll be covered there. Mainly what I want to show you here is how to do a random image generator that uses the set interval to keep redrawing the screen. And then also we're going to show the alpha channel here to create transparent figures. I'm also using jQuery here, and I'll comment a little bit about that. So the program has the same structure that we've seen before. I've placed all the code in a function called draw, and I'm going to use the set interval to set that. You can see that up here. So var repeat equals set interval draw. That 2000 there is basically 2000 milliseconds, so that's 2 seconds. A lot of times I'll draw that out where I'll have a seconds variable and I'll say 1000 times seconds to make the code a little bit clearer, but that's what that is. So every 2 seconds it's going to call the draw function. And then at this point I'm not clearing the screen, so everything that gets drawn is drawn over top of what came before. Most of this I think you've seen already. We begin the path, we set the line width, again we use a random value. We set a random color for the fill style and a random color for the stroke style. Pardon me. We go ahead and randomize a variety of things that we're going to need to generate the figures. There's a lot here, so we have 2 points, x1, x, y, x1, and y1, excuse me. Then we have 2 control points, which we need for some of the curve functions. A width and a height, a radius. Here's the global alpha, and that's one of the things I wanted to cover in this video that's new. So basically the global alpha is a floating point range from 0 to 1. And that's the transparency. So if it's 1, that means that the figure is opaque, which means you can't see through it at all. And then basically you can see what's going here is that we're reducing the global alpha by, and that's not a 1. This is kind of a bad thing. I shouldn't normally do this, but this is L. And so that's actually going to reduce the global alpha by 1/100th of a percent there, 1%, sorry, each time through the loop. And so if you look through the loop, it's going to go 100 times. So this ranges the alpha from starting at 99 to 0%. So it won't even draw the last figure because it'll be transparent, completely transparent. Okay, to give a bunch of variety here, I've used a JavaScript switch structure here, and I have a total of 5 cases, and I'm sorry, a total of 6 cases, and I'm just taking advantage of the modulo method here. So number of figs is going to be 6, which that's the remainder function. So as this L goes from 0 to 100, it'll actually run through and just draw these one after another. And of course I could simply put them in the loop and have it do that and have it just go 25 times. It's a little different, but just to see how this works, the first time through, 0 divided by whoa, does that divide by 0? Nope, it starts at 1. So basically the 1 mod 1 is 0, so it draws the rectangle, then the circle, then the polygon, then the quadratic curve, then the Bezier curve, then the spiral. Again, some of these you haven't seen yet. You don't have to worry about that. They'll be covered in the later videos. I just wanted to show you how I chained these all together in a switch statement so I get this variety. Now it is very regular. It does draw them in that order, and if I wanted more randomness, then I'd have to basically randomize this value so it wouldn't always be in order. But it works pretty well this way with 100 figures. It looks pretty random, and again, of course, the figures are all randomized too. in terms of the fact that we're randomizing all the parameters that make them. Here's the polygon function. You'll see that later if you haven't already. And the convert and the 2RGB function we've used before. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We set this interval here with the function that we want to run, which is draw here. And we just looked at the draw function. This says do it every 2,000 milliseconds, every 2 seconds. And this variable repeat is used if we want to turn this off. So we basically would use clear interval and then in parentheses repeat to do that. I don't think I actually do that here. It just runs. Alright, just to show you what this looks like. It's actually kind of cool. And I'll reload it and we'll start fresh. And the stop flow doesn't actually work. I didn't hook it up. That's alright though. Again, I explained to use the clear interval. And so you can see that it's drawing these different figures, the spirals and the circle with the arc, the rectangle, which can be square. It's not always square though. And polygon will actually draw the squares too, right? So probably the squares are mostly from polygon. And then the other thing to notice is that the figures do have an alpha quality, so you can see where you can look through and see that they are semi-transparent. Okay, and that's from that global alpha. Alright, I think that's enough for this. Kind of just wanted to recover this video that got lost. And again, the stuff that I've done here that you haven't seen, I will cover in the later videos. I went back and created this one, and because I wanted the flow to have as much variety as I could, I went ahead and used those features that you're going to actually see later. Alright, hope you like this stuff.